What's up, Facebook? Lindsay Lombardi here from Find Your Freedom Coaching. And I wanted to jump on again today and, I've been doing a series talking about becoming a fitness professional and how people who are interested in this profession can get involved, and also kind of what to do, how to start out. Really just, talking about the realness factor of it. Today I wanted to talk about some of the secrets of a fitness professional and just keep it real for you guys and talk about what, hey Daryl, what it actually, what it actually takes, what sort of like what the pros and cons are, because there are, just as many upsides as downsides. And I wanted to just, talk about the pros and cons of becoming a fitness professional. So I'll give it a minute, see if anybody hops on, and then we'll get started. I know for a lot of people, you guys have questions. Some people have always thought about this. I spend a lot of time in the gym and a lot of time around people who are passionate about fitness and nutrition. So I know that this is something that like people struggle with, like internally trying to figure out, well, is this career right for them? How would it work? Most people know that a career in fitness, you don't make much money, right? So that was how it used to work. But nowadays things have changed, and that there's so many different things that you can do to provide services and products for people in this industry that can make it much more lucrative than it had been in the past. So we can talk about that on another day, but let me get right into it. Let's talk about, like I said, the pros and cons to being a fitness professional. So first off, because I think this is the most important, this is probably why a lot of people get involved in this industry in the first place. They want to help people. If you are the personality type that likes to serve people, right? I know that I'm that personality type. So if you just want to help people and serve people, this is an amazing career choice. But here's the thing. Yes, you get to help people each and every single day. You get to see what people, how you can help people reach their goals every single day. However, the downside of that is that not everybody is ready for your help. And sometimes, I'll share a story. Sometimes I have people who will come to me and they want help, and, they get started, and then something changes along the way, like, life gets in the way, right? Things happen, life happens, and they don't stick to the commitments that they said they were going to. And, as an instructor or as a trainer or a coach, it's my job to help them push past that. And there are some times where I cannot do that. Like there's only so much that I can control, right? So that's probably one of the harder, more challenging parts of being a fitness professional, is not being able to control the outcome of somebody else's results. Like sometimes you want it more than they want it for themselves. And that can be very challenging. That's probably like the biggest challenge mentally, because you want everybody to have success in their lives. And when you see people struggling, it can just be really tough. A part of that, the next thing I wanted to talk about, was just working with people. I mean, you get to work with some amazing people. Every day it can be different. You can work with just a really great variety of people, amazing people. But then in the same sense, you can sometimes have to work with difficult people. Like I mentioned earlier, it can be a little frustrating if it's somebody who isn't, maybe you realize like after you've started working with somebody that you're just like, they're not your cup of tea, or you're not their cup of tea, whatever it may be. And you just aren't, right for one another. The other thing is like, a lot of people come in sometimes looking for like quick fixes. This is an industry where there's a lot of like snake oils and different things that promise quick results without any work involved. And sometimes, so people will come to you and that's what they expect from even you. So as a lot of us as fitness professionals, we're really not selling that. We're not providing that service. We're providing a service that does take a lot of hard work. Hey, Heather. A lot of hard work and a lot of consistency and effort put towards it. The next thing I want to talk about is that, yes, you are your own boss in most cases. So you get to set your own hours. You get to figure out what your own pay scale, what you'd like that to be, what your products or services that you provide are. You get a lot of that freedom and flexibility to choose, how you want your business to look like. However, it's more than just training and instructing all day. So maybe the downside of that could be that, yes, you can be your own boss, but in the same sense, you also have to, be your own scheduler and secretary and sometimes, DJ and creating music and what else? Marketing genius. You have to be your own marketing genius. So there's like a lot involved besides just actually training somebody or actually instructing a class each and every day. So the other part of that is that, there's really like not good hours sometimes in this industry. So, there's cases where, let's say you don't work for yourself, so you can't control your hours. Let's say you work for a gym, right? So maybe you're still an independent contractor because you're not like a full-time employee, but you work for the gym, so they're sending you clients, and you really can't pick and choose what hours you're going to be training them, right? So that can be something to think about. It's one of the reasons why I don't want to be a trainer at an actual gym and be an employee of them. I like working for myself. So that's one thing. The other thing is like, again, working for a gym, you give up that freedom and flexibility. So they'll be telling you who to work with and when. And then also regarding that, I want to talk about full-time versus part-time. So some people get involved in this industry part-time because, they have a regular full-time job. You do make less money in the beginning years. So when you first start out either instructing or coaching or personally training somebody, you will make less money in the beginning in hopes that in the long run, you will make a lot more. And how that will work is like eventually, after a couple of years, typically after 3 to 5 years, you are now considered, like, depending on how many classes that you teach, you're now considered like a master instructor or master trainer in some way. And you will be more sought after for most gyms to utilize you, and you will start getting a higher, like you be getting paid higher, just like you do when you start out in the workforce. So it's very similar to that. It's like starting any career, right? You're going to make less money in the front end, and then in the long run, you can make a much more lucrative career out of it. But again, that full-time versus part-time. So this is why a lot of people get involved part-time in the beginning, and then they eventually go full-time. So for some people that can be a frustration because even with working with other people, that can be a frustration because you are, working with people who sometimes are like a hobby coach or a hobby instructor, where this is like something that they do just every now and again. So maybe their job ends up being like their priority. right? Their full-time job is still their priority. So that could mean they don't show up for classes, or if you're in that situation, like, yes, you can't tell your boss, oh, I have to go teach a class. They don't care. So then you have to like cancel a class or try to get a sub. Trying to get coverage can be challenging sometimes. So that's also something to think about. But again, another one of the benefits is that you get to really stay active doing this career. So when you have to like use your own body as part of your job, it keeps you accountable, right? It actually, like, you have to show up every single day. So it becomes like fun, that the fact that you, like, instead of me thinking about like, oh, I haven't worked out yet today, I know, like, I taught 3 classes today. And there are some days where it's like certain classes can be challenging, you leave like every last bit of energy on the floor. And for me, I don't know that I would have been this consistent with staying active throughout the past 5 or 6, 7 years that I've been involved in this industry if I wasn't doing this as a career, to be quite honest. I don't know if I would be this consistent. I'm just like everybody else. I struggle with consistency. I struggle with motivation, just like everybody else. Yes, I have tools in my toolbox that I use in order to stay motivated. And again, this can just be one of them. It just gives you higher accountability to stay active. If I'm asking somebody else to push themselves, like, I better be doing the same thing for myself. So that can definitely be such a huge benefit for a lot of people. And because I think from what I hear from most people is that accountability is like the number one need for most people. But again, the downside of that is that, yes, you're using your body every single day. Your body becomes your job, and you need to take care of it. And that can be, right, that can mean a lot of things. You have to really rest and recover. For me, I invest in massage and chiropractic and acupuncture and a list of other services that I need just to keep my body healthy. I have to take a lot of extra supplements and a lot of extra things just to stay, healthy and injury free. And that, for most people, that can be an eye opener. One of the other things that I wanted to talk about, which I don't think most people realize, is that when you're in this industry, you really get to be around positive people for the most part. Like, people who are just naturally, like, people who get involved in this industry are typically people that want to improve ongoing, right? People who really are up to stuff in life. People who want, who seem just like they have extra energy, that they're motivated. So when you align yourself with other people who are up to things, guess what happens? It's going to like help you stay motivated to get to be up to things as well. Now, I'm not saying that there's anything wrong with, having a standard 9-to-5 job where you just kind of clock in and clock out every day and just, kind of do the same thing every day. I'm not saying that there's anything wrong with that. But when you're up to things with, like, when you're surrounded by people who are constantly like wanting to improve, it just helps you kind of level up, right? To the next level, whatever that means for you. So all in all, I wanted to talk again today about, the main, pros and cons to being a fitness professional. And again, making a difference with people really becomes, I think, one of the biggest benefits. Watching people gain confidence or eradicate disease, or watching how them making a change in their health or being consistent in that area actually has this like domino effect in other areas of their life. Watching things like that happen for people is one of the most amazing and fulfilling things that I think, I have ever seen or done in my life. And if that's something that you really need in your life, or that you really want, then yes, I would say a career in the fitness profession would be an amazing thing. Like I said, I just want to keep it real, so that way you also know some of the struggles too. That this job is just, again, it's not all rainbows and butterflies all of the time, but it can be if you choose it to be. And one of the things that I love about mentoring other people who get involved in this industry is that I get to watch them grow and flourish as well. So anyway, if you guys stay in tune with the remaining series that I'm going to be doing, I want to talk more about some fun tools that I love, and I'll be doing that either tomorrow or Saturday. So stay in touch. I'd love to hear your feedback again and answer any questions in some upcoming videos and lives. So talk soon, guys. Thanks for coming in.